Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Me Reading Stuff. Who am I? I'm Robyn O'Neill. I am a visual artist and a homicide detective. I was born in Omaha, Nebraska, and I now live somewhere in Washington State. One more thing about me. I was born tired. 1977, born tired. Who are you? What are you up to today? What's your favorite thing about being alive, and what's your least favorite thing about being alive? I can't wait to get to know you more. And I'm very much looking forward to reading something to you today. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but that's what we do on this podcast is we read you stuff, so we're going to do that. I'll keep you company because we all need company. We all need love, and that's all there is to it. Company, love, end of story. I think so far this has been an excellent beginning to the show. So much more to come. So you guys, let's get going. Raise your hand if you like the music on this podcast. That's right. We all love it, don't we? It is, for anybody new, I just want to say this to you. How I first came about all of my royalty-free music is I searched for royalty-free hip-hop music, dark. And everything came from that. But these are really old pieces, and I'm going to actually update the music coming up soon. So get ready. Not that in between is something I've been working on myself in GarageBand. And in fact, I didn't work on it at all. It's just called a loop. You just drag it in. I mean, I kind of edited it where it ended, but that's it. So anyway, a little insider baseball there. Okay, guys, I don't even know if that's what insider baseball means. Or is insider baseball even a term? You know what? This is what we call Internet Corner, everybody. Let's look up, what does insider baseball mean? Okay, inside baseball is an idiom used to describe intricate details, internal workings, or specialized information that is only understood or appreciated by experts, insiders, or dedicated aficionados. Okay, that kind of does work a little bit. That works with what I was just doing. It's more just like nobody needs to know this. Robyn, move on. And let's go to the real corner that we're approaching, which is everybody's favorite, Question Corner. That's right. We're moving on to Question Corner. For those of you who are new, Question Corner is where I simply, I find you interesting. I find you fascinating, and I want to get to know you better. I want to understand what makes you tick, what makes you frown, what's turned your whole world around. And that's what we do in Question Corner is I pick your brain, I ask you questions. You are allowed to respond however you'd like, internally, in your own journal at home, or you can write to me at info@robynoneil.com. Either way, I hope you enjoy this line of questioning. That is why I'm a detective. And let's get started. I think we're going to start with a big one. I mean, this one is a big deal. This is going to be a very revealing question. The question is, do you like hot dogs? Answer me that. I'm recording this right before the 4th of July, and here in the United States, eating hot dogs seems to be synonymous with this maybe polarizing patriotic holiday. I don't know if it's polarizing. Amongst my people, it's polarizing. So anyway, hot dogs are on my mind. Damien's going to make hot dogs tomorrow. I'm super excited about it. I personally love hot dogs. And whenever I start talking about hot dogs, it reminds me of some of you may have been around me for the long haul, and you may know this. This isn't exactly that interesting, but on Instagram, when it first started, I started a hashtag called #DarkHotDogs. And this dark hot dogs kind of took off. And everybody was posting pictures of dark hot dogs, and it was awesome. And what I mean by dark hot dogs is anything where the idea of a hot dog is kind of taking a dark turn, like a sinister looking hot dog sculpture out front of a hot dog restaurant, or a weird photograph you find online of a hot dog like laying in bed, like with its head on a pillow, even though it's not a head, it's just a hot dog. I don't know if this is making sense. I have, quit Instagram and gone crazy enough times to where I have removed most of the dark hot dog imagery I compiled, which is really sad. I think there's a few from other members of the Dark Hot Dog Club, and if you search for it on Instagram, you can find it. It was also on Twitter. Anyway, around this time when I had first started the dark hot dogs thing, all of a sudden, and I'm also a big golf watcher. I like watching golf on TV. Well, all of a sudden, a new news story came out, which was the title of it, I remember, said, Tiger Woods unharmed following hot dog attack. And this was in 2011. And basically around this time, well, always, Tiger kind of gets a lot of shit, right? People love to yell at him ever since he had his scandal where he, cheated on his wife and directed people to have sex in his hotel room or whatever it was. Ever since then, people love talking shit to Tiger on the golf course when he's playing tournaments. And all I know is this weekend, I remember this was the big headline, and I have a quote here. I pulled this up, and this was what happened. Okay, this guy who, his last name's Kelly, the guy who threw a hot dog at Tiger Woods, and it was on TV. Anyway, he said, this is his quote, I threw the hot dog toward Tiger Woods because I was inspired by the movie Drive, Kelly said. As soon as the movie ended, I thought to myself, I have to do something courageous and epic. I have to throw a hot dog on the green in front of Tiger. And that's all we ever heard of this guy. I've said this on this podcast before, but my dream is to find that guy and just interview him. Can you imagine a short documentary about the guy who threw the hot dog at Tiger Woods? Oh, and there's another, I forgot. I pulled this note up so that I could make sure to remember to do this. So Tiger Woods, this is the only quote that I found that he said about it. He said, when I looked up, the hot dog was already in the air, Woods said. The bun was kind of disintegrating. This is so similar to last week's Erratic Fire, Erratic Passion, the poetry of sports talk reading, and I'm not even planning it. Now, I did plan on telling you about hot dogs, and I did plan on telling you this hot dog quote, especially the Tiger Woods one, but it didn't even make sense that it was connected to last week. Isn't that fun? Anyway, I'm obsessed with hot dogs, personally looking forward to it. I don't care if I'm in my vegan days or if I'm eating every kind of meat there is days. I love a hot dog. I love a tofu pup. I love a beef hot dog. I love a turkey hot dog. I love a bratwurst. I love summer sausage. Next question. What was the last song you had on repeat? Okay. Mine was definitely Shannon Lay, Past the Veil. I'm really pushing you guys into becoming massive Shannon Lay fans, but that really was that. I have that on repeat right now, Past the Veil. And that's from her soon to be coming out album, also called Past the Veil, by the way. Okay, let me take a sip of decaf. I got a big one. I just thought of it. What's the most toxic relationship in your life right now? Is it a friend? Is it your partner? I hate to ask, but sometimes it's your partner. Is it somebody you work with? And why do you keep it alive if it's so toxic? Tell me what you're getting from that toxic relationship. Okay, let's hear your answers. Another question. Is there a chore that you do around your house or apartment that you actually enjoy doing? In other words, do people out there enjoy housework, cleaning, chores? I don't know, balancing your books. Is that a chore? Yes. Raking the leaves. Tell me what you like doing. The only one, I pretty much hate them all. I do not like doing any chores, and I'd like to never have to do them. But that's not how it works, folks. So, but my one that I like is actually weeding. I love to weed the garden, but that's really gardening. I don't know if we can call that a chore, can we? I don't know, but that's the only one I like. Do I like to dust? No. Do I like to sweep? No. I had a friend who said their favorite chore, they loved doing this. They loved to vacuum. It felt like therapy to them. And I was like, what? Now, Damien also claims he likes to vacuum, but I've never seen him vacuum. Not once. But he says he loves it. Okay. What is the longest you've gone without checking your phone? Have you even had a weekend? Come on, let's hear about it. This isn't just the phone, but there was a time back in the old days when emails were a little bit new still. And, I was just starting being an artist professionally, and I was overwhelmed by emails. And so I decided I was going to make this up. I lived in a remote enough place, far from most of my galleries, outside of Houston, Texas. I decided I was going to pretend to live in Colombia for 9 months. That's right. So I had an away message on my email that said, I'm so sorry, I am actually relocated to Colombia for the next 9 months, because I was working towards a show and I didn't want to, I didn't want to be interrupted. I never wanted to be interrupted back in the day. Ever, ever, ever. I mean, I still don't really want to be, but I've accepted it as a part of life now. Anyway, yeah, I pretended to live in Colombia for 9 months so that I didn't have to speak to anybody. And you know what? I think I'd do it again. I really would. It's a good idea. But the longest I've gone without checking my phone recently, well, definitely over a weekend or something. I don't mind. I mean, I in fact love it. Please just take my phone for good. Can we all just give up our phones? Okay. Are there any other questions I want to ask you? Well, I always like trying to ask you guys something that makes you think of good things you've done or make you feel good about yourself. So, what's a tiny thing or a big thing that you've done or accomplished, or even if you've just figured something out recently that you're really proud of yourself for? What is that tiny thing? Let me know what it is. For me, I'm going to go ahead and go with, honestly, it's learning spreadsheeting. I am having a hard time with it. Like, I really wish somebody who's good at it could sit next to me and kind of, watch me make a spreadsheet so that they could then go, oh, no, honey, you don't need to do that. That's like 8 steps too much. Because that's probably what I'm doing all the time. There's probably I can hit the letter K and, it'll create a new column or something. I don't know. So yeah, but learning things that are really naturally very, very difficult for my brain, which is anything technological. So all the stuff I learned from my website and spreadsheeting too. Okay, remember, you guys can always submit your answers to me if you feel like it. You can either hop on Instagram and follow me there, Robyn with a Y _ Oneil. That's Robyn _ O'Neill on Instagram. Or you can email me your answers. Some people like to email them directly to me, almost like it's a diary entry. Other people like keeping them to themselves. And other people like getting crazy with it and putting them in the comments under any one of my Instagram posts. The email, info@robynoneil.com. So I always read them all. I read everything you guys say to me. I don't always respond to everything in the email side of things. I just have kind of come to terms with it now. Instead of over-promising, I'm just going to under-promise. If I do respond to emails, we're doing great. But if I don't, that's the standard. Because I can barely function, and I am so tired. Okay. Is it time to read? Let me hit a break. Let me drink some coffee, and I'll be back with our reading of the week. How many decaf drinkers do we have out in the audience tonight? Let's hear it for decaf. Everybody. Do I wish I could have caffeine? Yeah, in fact, I had a little iced tea today. I'm regretting it now because my heart is palpitating. I'm not supposed to have caffeine for really good reason, but every once in a while I do treat myself. I've been having slight afternoon, never coffee. I try to go for the low things like tea or, I don't know, a Mountain Dew. Just kidding. Doesn't Mountain Dew have tons of caffeine? I am not a Mountain Dew fan, and I'm not a Big Red fan. Here are the sodas I like. Nobody asked, but here we go. The sodas I enjoy in life are, I've always liked a Sprite or a 7-Up. Not my top choice, but it's good. Used to be my top choice when I was a kid. I would say my all-time favorite is a classic Coke. I like a Mexican Coke. I like a regular old Coke. I really, you know what, actually, number one choice Well, for sure, fountain Coke, like a good one, or a Coke in a can. Now, they do have caffeine-free Coke, so that's what's fun about life. You know what I mean? All right, so, and I also like Dr. Pepper. I hate Diet Coke. I hate Diet Dr. Pepper. I hate any diet drink. I can't tell you how opposed my body is to whatever it is in there that tastes like a chemical, but I mean, I do not understand. Like I want to understand because people love it so much. I mean, they just love it more than any other drink out there, I would say. But me, if I accidentally get Damien's Diet Coke instead of my regular Coke, if we're like out at a burger place or something, I seriously am like disturbed for 2 days afterwards. But I support Diet Cokers. I totally support it. Okay. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. It's time to read. By the way, there are fireworks going off right outside the window. So if you hear that, oh well, let's just have fun with it. Okay. Tonight, it's actually nighttime right now. I'm going to be reading to you from Anne Carson. One of, hands down, no arguments about it. This is just a fact. One of the most brilliant and original writers / poets / classicists writing today. I said it and I mean it. She's also one of maybe the writer I've read the most on me reading stuff because I looked it up and I have read from Anne Carson 19 different times. This will make 20. So this is a 20th Anne Carson anniversary episode. She's Canadian. As I said, she's a classicist. So she brings ancient myths sort of like colliding into modern day life. And she does it in the most, I'm talking book throwing, jarring, tender, unexpected ways. Ways that make me crazy. She makes me feel things like inside my body when I'm reading her. I think, and I have turned a lot of you guys onto her. A lot of people started by reading Autobiography of Red, which is what I'm going to be reading from today. It originally came out in 1998 on Vintage. I will, as always, you guys, I'm going to put a link in the description of the podcast to show you where you can find it. And this is, it's a novel. Again, it's called A Novel in Verse. And it really was groundbreaking, is still groundbreaking. You may remember since I've read from it before, but basically this is the old Greek myth of the red monster Geryon, and Anne Carson turns this into a very moving, queer coming-of-age story. It's about falling in love. It's about feeling like an outsider. It's about creativity. It's about callousness, I would say. It's about familial trauma, for sure. And I think that this book shows how trauma, there's a theme in here where trauma can make someone hypersensitive, or and the people around that hypersensitive one can remain completely indifferent. Or, again, callous, blunt. Also, another theme that's a very relatable topic is just the topic of trying to stay alive, just figuring out how to survive. Not really stay alive like, oh, I'm being threatened by the war, but just just surviving the ups and downs of love and life. It is what we're going to be reading from today. I've got a lot of things marked, so we're just going to kind of open the page and see where we go. This book has influenced so many people, by the way. And it's definitely influenced this show and was part of the reason I wanted to make this show. Not the entire. Obviously, we've already talked about what that was. That we read from the other week. But here we go. Time to read. All right. I opened up and I am on page 37. And it is under the section called Ideas. Eventually, Geryon learned to write. His mother's friend Maria gave him a beautiful notebook from Japan with a fluorescent cover. On the cover, Geryon wrote Autobiography. Inside, he set down the facts. Total facts known about Geryon. Geryon was a monster. Everything about him was red. Geryon lived on an island in the Atlantic called the Red Place. Geryon's mother was a river that runs to the sea, the Red Joy River. Geryon's father was gold. Some say Geryon had 6 hands, 6 feet. Some say wings. Geryon was red, so were his strange red cattle. Heracles came one day, killed Geryon, got the cattle. He followed facts with questions and answers. Questions. Why did Heracles kill Geryon? 1. Just violent. 2. Had to. It was one of his labors. The 10th. And 3. Got the idea that Geryon was death. Otherwise, he could live forever. Finally, Geryon had a little red dog. Heracles killed that too. Where does he get his ideas? Said the teacher. It was parent-teacher day at school. They were sitting side by side in tiny desks. Geryon watched his mother pick a fragment of tobacco off her tongue before she said, "Does he ever write anything with a happy ending?" Geryon paused. Then he reached up and carefully disengaged the composition paper from the reader's hand. Proceeding to the back of the classroom, he sat at his usual desk and took out a pencil. New ending. All over the world, the beautiful red breezes went on blowing hand in hand. It's so good. Oh, and really quick, sorry, let's just take that in. Let me not come in so hot. I said that Geryon reached up and carefully disengaged the composition paper from the teacher's hand, but I meant to say, I said from the reader's hand, but I meant to say teacher's hand, so I apologize. That sucked. Okay, my reading was going so well until that last line. Now, I just want to point out, I could just stop this recording, rewind, delete, and start again. But that's not what we do here on Me Reading Stuff, everybody. We like to show our scars. We like to celebrate our wounds and our failures, okay? Fail again, fail harder. Okay, now we have Chapter 7, Change. Somehow, Geryon made it to adolescence. Then he met Heracles, and the kingdoms of his life all shifted down a few notches. They were 2 superior eels at the bottom of the tank, and they recognized each other like italics. Geryon was going into the bus depot one Friday night about 3 a.m. to get change to call home. Heracles stopped off the bus from New Mexico, and Geryon came fast around the corner of the platform, and there it was, one of those moments that is the opposite of blindness. The world poured back and forth between their eyes once or twice. Other people wishing to disembark the bus from New Mexico were jamming up behind Heracles, who had stopped on the bottom step with his suitcase in one hand, trying to tuck in his shirt with the other. "Do you have change for $1? Geryon heard Geryon say. "No." Heracles stared straight at Geryon. "But I'll give you $0.25 for free." "Why would you do that?" "I believe in being gracious." Some hours later, they were down at the railroad tracks, standing close together by the switch lights. The huge night moved overhead, scattering drops of itself. "You're cold," said Heracles suddenly. "Your hands are cold. Here." He put Geryon's hands inside his shirt. It's so beautiful. I just love this book. I guarantee already that I have turned on some people right now to get the book, and they're going to love it for the rest of their lives. I just know it. That was Anne Carson's Autobiography of Red. I'll put a link in the description, as I said. I think I said that like 15 times. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Other Anne Carson books I'd like to recommend are, okay, guys, again, get out the pens, get out the paper. Let's take notes. First things first. Now, I've read from this lecture of hers as well on the podcast, but what I want you to do is pull up and watch her lecture on the history of skywriting. I almost said skyrocketing. Skywriting. Lecture on the history of skywriting. She's given this lecture several times on stages across the world. I love the one that I saw, actually. It was at the Hammer Museum in LA, so I'm going to link that one, but you can find any of them out there on YouTube or wherever you watch videos. I'm pretty sure it's all YouTube, isn't it? I don't know. Other books that I love, off the top of my head, that I love the most of hers are short talks, Glass, Irony, and God, specifically the Glass essay, but I love the whole book, and Plain Water. Those would be my next. If you've already, you're like, hey, I've already read Autobiography. I've read several times. What should I get next? Well, get anything by Anne Carson, but those would be my go-tos. Can you guys even wait to find out what I'm going to read next week? Because week 3 of me reading what we call classic me reading stuffs, where we're just reading things that I've read on here a million times. I think this is the 3rd episode that I've done that, but you guys got 2 episodes last week for the anniversary, or 2 weeks ago. So anyway, maybe I should extend this into 2 months, because there's something about it. It's getting me going. It's keeping me entertained. It's keeping you entertained. Anyway, let's move on. Well, that's it for this week, fools. We're all done here. Just a reminder where you can find me, and I do hope you do. Find me on Instagram, ROBYN_ONEIL, Substack. It's robynoneil.substack.com. And you can go to my website, robynoneil.com. You can support me there just by taking a look. I love it. I love it. I love having my new website, okay? If you're new here, I want to say welcome. It's good to see you, good to get to know you from Question Corner. Feel free to reach out. I love it when I get new listeners and get to learn about who you guys are. This is a kind of a tight club. This is like a tight-knit thing. Anyway, so that leads me to you guys, the long-time listener, the originals. By the way, Cecile came up with a name for you guys. Tell me what you think. She just said it one day. She calls people who read me reading stuff stuffers. What do you guys think of that? It's sort of absurd, almost gross, kind of perfect. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Anyway, to any of you guys, consider yourselves my chosen family. You're permanently adopted. I love you deeply, and I think you guys know I mean that. I hope this brought you some comfort today. I hope this podcast brought you something you needed, whether it was the Anne Carson readings or maybe you just needed to hear about Tiger Woods and the hot dog. I know I did. But I know we're all going through a lot right now. I know, number one, I know we're all worried about money right now. And that makes me sad for all of us because I don't know one person who's not affected by it. And it's killing me. I know some of us are grieving. Many of us are thinking about somebody we shouldn't be thinking about, calling you guys out. Most of us, including me, are just kind of really out of it right now. Just really tired and out of it. That's how I would describe me. Pretty brain fogged, don't know if you can tell, and very out of it. I'm kind of in just like a haze of my own making. And it's all okay. No matter where all of these things, worrying about finances, laughing, needing hot dogs, all of it, it's all fine. I'm going to close with my interrelational tip of the week. I haven't said this one in a while. People cannot read your mind. Did you know that? No matter how well they know you, no matter how intimate you guys are, no matter how long you've known them, it's not even a possibility. Nobody is a mind reader. So, you're going to have to learn, again, get out those notebooks. You're going to have to learn how to state your needs. Say it clearly. Say it plainly. And say it compassionately. In other words, say what you mean what you say, but don't be mean when you say it. Capiche, everybody? All right. Be regular and orderly in your life so that you may be violent and and original in your work, that one is Gustave Flaubert. And I am Robyn O'Neill. I'm a detective. I'm an artist. I've had a great time, and I hope you have too. I'll see you next Monday morning. I love you guys. I really, really love you guys. Okay, bye.